attacking. And rookie safety Steve Atwater has proved he's an impact player. Running back Bobby Humphrey has shown he can do more than rush for over 1,000 yards in this, his first NFL season. And old new face Mike Shanahan has returned to help quarterback John Elway through the rough spots. The results have been significant. Major corporate executives could learn from the expertly orchestrated moves of head coach Dan Reeves. Chuck Noll's 21st season as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers hasn't been without its deep disappointments and frustrations, but undaunted by early failures. Noll coolly led his team to the playoffs, and last week his underdog Steelers surprised rival Houston in overtime. Today they're the one to beat for Denver.
NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the AFC Divisional Playoff. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Denver Broncos.
Mile High Stadium in Denver, packed with 75,000 partisan Bronco fans. And while the snow-dusted foothills of the Rockies remind one of the skiing paradise beyond, the weatherman in Denver must be a football fan. Temperature in the mid-50s with only a breath of a breeze. Oh, my. Welcome aboard. Dick Enberg here, and congratulations. 3 teams are through to the semifinals for the Super Bowl. The Rams and 49ers will meet again for the NFC title, and the Cleveland Browns, victorious yesterday, await the winner of this game between the Broncos and the Steelers. Carl Mecklenburg, the all-pro linebacker of the Broncos, put it this way, that this is a totally new experience. Just as it's different going from the preseason to the regular season, the intensity level, when you get to the playoffs, well, no rookie could even understand it. How about from the coach's side, Bill Walsh? Did you feel the same?
Well, you felt that way. You really depended heavily on things you've done all the way back to training camp. You don't experiment in the playoffs. The players will feel the pressure, the coaches the pressure, especially these rookies.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are 10-point underdogs, last in the NFL in total offense. How do they win?
Well, they play good, solid defense. They keep the pressure on for 60 minutes. They hope that somebody will break down along the way and they'll get some scores. So they're going to have to stop a running game, get some big plays themselves, and try to keep the pressure on Denver, hoping to get a break.
Imperative that they get something early. They don't come from behind very well.
No, they have to score very quickly. Humphrey for Denver, Elway for Denver, 2 big play people can get in the end zone. So it's critical for Pittsburgh to find a way to score early, to hold their own, then hope that Denver finally cracks as Houston did.
The Steelers will get the ball first. Chuck Noll in his 21st season just celebrated his 58th birthday on Friday. Would like a little late birthday present, and it would be a surprise present if the Steelers could pull it off again. Treadwell, the Pro Bowl kicker, skids one low. Rod Woodson lets it go into the end zone. The Pro Bowler for kick return adroitness. Woodson won't get a chance on that one. Here comes Bubby Brister, the highest paid Steeler in their history, and his line protecting Jackson, Rienstra, Dawson, Long. Tunch Ilkin is on his way to the Pro Bowl, the smallest tackle in the league. Merrill Hodge and Tim Worley are behind Brister, the runners. They're big and strong. Hill and Lips are the wide receivers, with Malarkey, the tight end. When they go to their third down passing game, those men go out, and Dwight Stone, a speedster, and Mark Stock come in. From the 20-yard line, Brister, who played at Northeast Louisiana. Lips in motion. Tim Worley, the #1 draft pick out of Georgia, earns a tough yard into the Bronco orange. Michael Brooks spearheaded the charge, and here are the Broncos defensively. Their base defense has Carricker, Craig, and Holmes on the front 3. Brooks, Munford, Mecklenburg on the way to another Pro Bowl, and Simon Fletcher, he leads in sacks. Braxton Henderson, 2 new cornerbacks this year. Dennis Smith, a Pro Bowler, and the outstanding rookie from Arkansas, Steve Atwater, the other safety. Those 2 safeties hit with anyone. Into the eyes of Mecklenburg. Second down, 8. Brister to Worley again. He vaults to the 25, but it'll be third down and a short 5 for a first down. Here comes Mark Stock, a 3rd wide receiver in for the Steelers. He's from the 6th round draft pick. And for the Broncos now, they come with the extra
pressure comes on Pittsburgh. Third down, they're not a great conversion team. They haven't been all year. We get a chance to look at an out pattern. Brister can throw the ball. We break straight up the field, sharply to the outside. The ball had a lot on it. And watching Brister warm up, I was really impressed. The first time I've seen him all year. Good, sharp, quick arm, quick feet. His problem will be he telegraphs his throws some, and also he has a little trouble sorting people out, so consequently his throws are a little late.
A big first down for the Steelers, who didn't want to start in the hole. Here comes Worley, and he runs through tackles to the 45-yard line and a gain of 8.
Well, that is the power play. They call it 16 power. That play's been in existence since all the way back to the Paul Brown days. It's a double team block with a guard coming inside out, and you'll see the trap play right there by Rinstra, and he makes the kind of play that Denver was looking for all the way through, and they still didn't stop it.
We apologize for our audio technical difficulties. Tim Worley, 770 yards in his rookie year. He was the second back picked in the draft behind Barry Sanders, who led the NFL in rushing with the Lions. Second and a short 3. First call for Merrill Hodge, and the former Idaho State star won't be brought down until he gets to the 45-yard line, and another Steeler first down.
So far, Pittsburgh's doing what they planned to do, expected to do, and this is just what Wade Phillips didn't want. Pittsburgh at the line of scrimmage, cleanly blocking people. Now you see the power of this man, Worley, and this is the reason they drafted him, 7th pick in the draft. Look at that power.
It was Hodge, 33, on his first carry, and he indeed, like Worley, possesses a great leg strength. 10 yards on that carry. First down at the Bronco 45. Lips right and Hill left, and Worley out of the backfield in motion. They don't throw to him that often, and Hodge, another trap, and Hodge running through tacklers, has 10 more. Michael Brooks finally gets him down.
Again, it's a pulling offensive line, smallish people that have real movement and quickness. You take a look at this pulling through the line of scrimmage with a double teaming. Now, Bunch Ilkin, a fine tackle, weighing 255 pounds, but he's a pulling tackle. And you see the use that Chuck Noll makes out of these quick offensive linemen, pulling, trapping. Denver knew these things were coming, but Hodge and Worley are the big backs, can make it work.
Ilkin traces back to the days when Mike Webster was there as a tutor with the Steelers. Worley is stuffed on second and short. Might have gotten the first down anyway. Needed only a half yard. Dennison and Brooks in on the tackle for the Denver Broncos.
Dennison was right in the middle of that play, Dick. It's the third time they've run it. This time they read it properly, and he got into the point of attack and was there to make a clean, sharp tackle right down the middle.
Played at Colorado State. It is a first down for the Steelers, and that right side of the line, as you look at Dennison, who is an academic All-America of the Steelers, Long is the shortest lineman in the league, and Ilkin is the smallest tackle in the league, and they're shoulder to shoulder. 74 Long, the short man, and Ilkin at 255, the lightest tackle in the NFL, but they produce.
Well, they depend heavily on their movement and mobility.
It's Hodge again, tackles, missing tackles and running through others, and he has 9 yards again. Well, that's a great way to operate. Get 9 yards on first down runs.
Again, Terry Long pulling, leading through the hole, and then you've got that power of Hodge. So it's a beautifully executed place. And what's important here, you'll see the pull in the trap, you'll see Ilkin through the hole, and you'll see the clean blocking, and Denver isn't responding well enough to it. You see the trap right there. Here comes Ilkin through the hole, good cut block. Then Hodge with his power is able to reach and break through tackles.
Second down and a half yard at the Denver 25. An impressive opening drive. Hodge needed just a couple of inches, maybe got 2 yards over Greg Cragen, the outstanding nose tackle of the Broncos. It's another Steeler first down for Chuck Noll.
Well, in speaking with Wade Phillips, this is what he didn't want. He felt that Denver this year, with more power in that defensive lineup, more strength, could stop this kind of running game. Now, whether Pittsburgh can keep it up for the entire game, we'll find out. But at this point, they're cleanly blocking the defenders from Denver. Cleanly blocking.
Weegee Thompson is in the lineup for Derrick Hill. He's wide to the left. Louis Lips to the right. And Lips in motion. Only one pass through It's Worley on the sweep. And read well by the Broncos. Greg Cragen in the thick of that tackle. Number 71.
Well, both guards, Rienstra and Long, pulling. Tried to get around the corner, but they couldn't quite make the corner because of the support from outside. You'll see both people pulling here, but Cragen will make his play here across the line. He was going to be single block, and that's a brutal job for Dawson, the center. So you can see Cragen, Pro Bowl football player, right down that line of scrimmage, meeting the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage.
And a yard loss on the play, so 2nd down and 11. Broncos come in with the extra defensive back. Look at Dennis Smith. He's right on the line of scrimmage. Brister guns and hits Dwight Stone at the 19-yard line. That'll be short of a 1st down, a gain of about 5 to Stone, who may be as fast as Rod Woodson. He's in that 4.2, 4.3 category.
Stone has speed. Now, he's their big play man for Pittsburgh, much as Sewell is for Denver. They'll use him coming out of the backfield as a wide receiver, and his strength as a flanker. With a slot formation away from him, he'll have strong safety coverage on him, which gives him a chance to really use his speed.
3rd and 6. The Steelers come in with 4 wide receivers. Stone and Thompson to the left. Lips and Stock to the right. Good protection for Brister. Now it breaks down. Brister might run it. He's got some room. He ducks down, and did he? Nope, stepped out of bounds at the 15, and that'll be short of the 1st down. Bring up 4th down and about a yard and a half.
Brister going to his left is a real problem for most defenses. The right hand, but Wade Phillips talked to his team all week about this is one guy that'll go left anytime he wants to, and he still has the ability to make tacklers miss. So again, we're seeing the things that Pittsburgh does best. They're executing and getting them done. That was an excellent drive. If they score here, I'm sure they're right on schedule.
Gary Anderson, 23-yard attempt. Gary Anderson to hold. And Anderson picks up where he left off in Houston as he nails one. His 50-yarder in overtime sent Pittsburgh to Denver today. So the Pittsburgh Steelers open with an impressive drive and get 3. Knowles' team consuming 747, and they didn't get in the air very often. Gary Anderson with a 32-yard field goal, and it's 3-0 Steelers.
They're right on schedule. They had plays planned to call. They called them in the order they wanted them. They blocked cleanly when he attempted to throw. They got the protection they needed. Not bad.
Anderson sends it long but low to Ken Bell at the goal line. Bell 15-20. 25-30 and down at the 31-yard line. Bella was released the middle of the year after he went through a little fumble problems and then re-signed by Dan Reeves. John Elway, one of the game's superstars, comes in, and meanwhile a little push and shove on the far sidelines. Nothing serious. Ball is at the 32-yard line. Elway, who said he's not at all thrilled with the season this year, but he said I got 3 big games left, has Perry, Juriga, Kartz, the rookie Wydell from Boston College, and Ken Lanier. Bobby Humphrey and Melvin Bratton, a brace of rookies behind him. Jackson and Johnson, the wide receivers. Kay, the tight end. Those 3 men go out when they go to their pass offense. Sewell comes in as a purpose back. Young, great hands, and Ricky Nattiel, a speedster. It's Bobby Humphrey, the rookie from Alabama, and he guns for nearly 10. Greg Lloyd and David Little with a tackle. Keith Willis, veteran, Gerald Williams and Tim Johnson, the front 3. Hinkle, Little, the leading tackler. Nickerson and Lloyd, who's their big play defensive linebacker. Woodruff and Woodson are the corners. Lake and Everett, the safeties. Valley State leads in sacks with 7. Second, that was a 1st down. He made the 10 yards. Vance Johnson in motion. Humphrey again. This time stacked up, gets a couple of yards out to the 44-yard line. Bobby Humphrey, with his fractured foot, many did not want to take a chance on Humphrey, and the Broncos, in a supplemental round, sacrificed a #1 next year to take Humphrey, and has he delivered? 1,151 yards in his rookie season.
Melvin Bratton, his running back mate, so to speak, is equally effective. Not so much running the ball, but as a blocker.
2nd down, 7. Elway's first throw. Nope, he's going to have to run it. And David Little downs him across the 45-yard line. Little from Florida leads the Steelers in tackles with 104. He is the younger brother of a former great blocking lineman with the Miami Dolphins, Larry Little. So in comes the extra defensive backs to counter those wide receivers. Aaron Jones, top down lineman, joins the front 4. Gerald Williams, a linebacker, and then Larry Griffin and Delton Hall, the extra defensive backs for the Steelers.
The last play, Dick, both corners, Woodruff and Woodson for Pittsburgh, absolutely stuffed the both wide receivers that Elway wanted to throw the ball to. Consequently, he had to run with it. If they can get that done all day, they'll be all right.
Elway throws. Incomplete through the hands of Steve Sewell down at the 47-yard line. Gerald Williams was there to cover for the Steelers. So Pittsburgh holds Denver, and the Broncos, heavily favored, have to punt the ball. And Mike Horan, who was a Pro Bowl punter last year, comes in to kick. This year he averaged, as you can see, 40.4, but his real strength is in kicking the ball inside the 20. The left footer sends a beautiful spiral deep, and that's going to go all the way into the end zone. He really got some lift. So the Steelers get it back on their 20 with the touchback, with 4:48 remaining in the opening quarter.
It's brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Nike, who reminds you to just do it. And by Ford and your Ford dealers. Have you driven a Ford lately?
From the baby to that fan, the sublime to the ridiculous here in Denver, where they love their football, and what a year for them. University of Colorado with a chance at a National Collegiate Championship, and the Broncos looking toward another Super Bowl opportunity, and so it'd be their 3rd in 4 years. But the Steelers, leading 3-0, have the ball. Brister guns that one right through the hands of Weegee Thompson, the wide receiver from Florida State.
Brister is the key for him is the accuracy and making his selections quickly. That time, Tim Worley released down the field, totally uncovered. He was 20 yards behind everybody else. This is the problem with Brister. He completed 48% last year, 55% this year. Excellent quarterback, but the training and the seasoning obviously isn't going to show up as well as it should in a playoff game like this.
Worley and Hodge split backs. 2nd and 10. Brister may be changing his play. And now moving in the line, and Carricker jumps in to Tunchilkin.
This is just what they don't want. This is the problem. A playoff game.
Full start, number 62, offense. 5-yard penalty.
As Carl Mecklenburg indicated and reminded us before the game, there's so much intensity here. You can't wait around for very long. This time Brister's trying to change the play. They can't hear it because of the noise. Somebody finally moves. This is what Pittsburgh can't afford, because they're sort of outgunned offensively. They can't make these kind of mistakes.
And this is the noisy end, the closed end of Mile High Stadium that Brister and the Steelers are fighting. To the tight end Malarkey, and he's out to the 26-yard line. Mike Malarkey, drafted by Bill Walsh in San Francisco in '83, then sent to the Minnesota Vikings and acquired by the Steelers in the Plan B program.
That time Dennison was asked to cover Malarkey. Malarkey's just going to make a shallow cross, and we're going to try to get coverage from a linebacker here. They'll never really be able to get that done time after time, but the critical factor is that Brister is showing a lot of poise from the standpoint, good protection, and keeping his eye on his receiver.
11 yards on that play to bring up 3rd and 4. Incomplete to Lewis Lips, covered by Mark Haynes, and the Steelers will have to punt.
Steelers got into sort of a passing syndrome there, sort of forced to have to throw the ball, and that, again, is playing right up Denver's alley, so to speak. We're going to get a blitz up inside with Atwater coming, but he's going to be covering a back really, then coming around. So they check the back, then if the back blocks, they then blitz. Brister's going to have a problem with those kind of things. They must get that running game going and keep it going. That's how they've won they've had their upsurge recently. That's what they're going to have to do today.
Van Johnson at the other end. Harry Newsom from Wake Forest had a punt blocked by Houston last week in the wild card game. And runs out of time apparently. Yep, delay a game.
Bad series. Bad series.
Chuck Noll is a real coaching Gibraltar, and he starts 0-2 with those two disastrous losses, 51-0 and 41-10, well documented. But someone remind us, when he took over in '69 as the coach of the Steelers, they went through a 16-game losing streak, so maybe 0-2 wasn't all that bad, but he really has the strength to rally a young team.
Well, he learned so much from Paul Brown as a high school student. They followed Paul Brown's teams and studied them. He emulated Paul as a coach. He shows that same patience that Paul Brown has demonstrated for so many years.
Vance Johnson with a fair catch, a good punt by Newsom of 50 yards, and it'll be Denver's ball when we return at the Bronco 29. The picturesque Bronchies off in the distance. Vale can't be too far. Old Yard Sale Enberg's on the way. And there's Bobby Brister taking a little extra oxygen. I'm going to ask you about that, Bill Walsh, whether you feel that helps your team. On first down from just inside their 30, it's Humphrey, and a flag down as Humphrey is tackled at the 35-yard line.
The size of the Denver line really demonstrated itself there. They've got big, massive offensive people. Gerald Perry 305, Juriga 275, Karts 270 on the left side, and they knocked that Steeler defensive line off the line of scrimmage.
Holding against the Broncos, Gerald Perry, the 305-pound left tackle.
That's the kind of thing that Pittsburgh needs. They've got to get Denver in a situation where they can sort of predict what's coming next. Naturally, there's a possibility of a run here, but at some point, to get the first down, Denver's going to have to throw.
Johnson left, Jackson right. Humphrey with Bratton behind Elway. That's Kay, the tight end, in motion. And then the give to Humphrey. He doesn't get much. David Little right there to wrap him up.
Little, one of the really underrated players on this Pittsburgh team. You know, talking to Rod Rust, the defensive coordinator, Chuck Noll, they don't like to even point out a player. But you'll see Little right here, number 50, move laterally, and then square up in the line of scrimmage, bang, right down the middle. And that's what it takes out of that inside linebacker. But again, the Pittsburgh people don't even like to name individuals. They just want to talk about team concept, and that's what Paul Brown did. There's where Chuck's had his success.
Sounds like a coach at San Francisco, too.
Well,
an ex-coach over there.
I worked for Paul Brown, too. Maybe I learned something.
On second and long, Elway slipping, but then eluding the rush and going long for Jackson. He's got it! And out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 50 yards on the play. What a gun, Elway.
You'll see a release right here at the bottom of the screen going straight up the field. But look at Elway move inside the pass rush, up, then drills a beautiful shot right over the shoulder. Just Mark Jackson had it put right on the money.
John Elway, a big play quarterback. His numbers not impressive this year, but as he pointed out, the most important figures are those wins and losses, and the Broncos led the AFC. Here's Humphrey caught in the backfield and breaks a couple of tackles but loses a yard.
Carnell Lake, strong safety, really penetrated that time. He's an interesting guy. Played at UCLA, a linebacker, but with great speed.
37 is Lake.
What they've done with him is making a safety out of him, so he's a super support man. He's got speed and he attacks the play. That time he was 5 yards across the line of scrimmage by the time Denver got there.
One of 9 NFL rookies to start all 16 games this year was Carnell Lake. Steve Atwater for the Broncos was one of the 9.
So here's Sewell right in front of us here, Dick, in front of Lake. And they like Sewell outside and like to throw him the ball.
Quarterback draw, and Elway, actually the ball touched down by Elway as he slipped to fall. Keith Willis was there to cover him at the 26-yard line. Make it, well, it is the 26, but closer to the 27. And so now 3rd down and long for Denver. Keith Willis from Northeastern.
Elway had a quarterback draw, no question about it. He's got the ball in pretty good shape, but then as he starts forward, he slips. And he puts his hand down with the ball in it.
Surprised they didn't mark it there where he went down with the ball. Elway. Down he goes with contact from Aaron Jones, the #1 pick of the Steelers out of Eastern Kentucky a year ago. And so that might take the Broncos, well, yep, out of field goal range. That is a huge play for the Steelers defense. 13
Jones,
yards.
against a fine tackle. Perry is up the field. Real physical power, then throws his body, and Elway just by chance was moving that way. And Elway has a history coming out left and doing great things, but that time Jones was right in his face.
Rod Woodson at his 10 as Horan aims it toward the sidelines. And it's a good kick. They line it up at the 8-yard line. Well done by Horan.
Here's the big pass rush. He gets a lot of momentum build up. He knocks Perry back. He gets off balance, and that finishes it.
At 2:57, you could see that 4.6 speed of Jones. Welcome back to Denver. An equipment change, new cleats on the shoes of John Elway.
Yeah, they have to put those on. The field is soft. They've been watering it all week. Those long cleats aren't what a football player wants, because they definitely slow you down when you want to move and avoid people.
Here comes Merrill Hodge breaking into the open and has some blockers. Still on his feet with one man to beat. Simon Fletcher cuts him off, and Hodge goes out of bounds at the Denver 47-yard line.
Has Hodge developed? I hadn't seen him play until last week against Houston. He made some excellent plays. He had a 49-yarder last week, but you'll see him break tackles and he strides out. Now you see him start right, then cut back behind Mecklenburg, behind Atwater, but look at him keep his feet. Now he strides out well. He probably runs about a 4.7 40, but it's very efficient. Excellent job. He should have kept running there. He might have got 3 or 4 more yards, but excellent running.
Merrill Duane Hodge from Pocatello, Idaho.
What a surprise he is.
He was a 10th round pick in '87 by the Steelers. 45 yards on that run. Now Brister looking for a big one. Down the middle he goes to Worley, and Worley has a first down at the Denver 14-yard line.
Well, that's exactly what we talked about early in the first quarter. Early in the quarter, we talked about Worley being open down the middle. This time, Brister looked right and then came right back to him, and it was a zone defense, and he just split people right down the field. Now he's in motion, and you'll see him right here working straight up the field. So he was in motion. Now you see him working straight up the field, clean against the zone. Now the ball's thrown in very, very well, and there really isn't much the defense can do about that. Excellent job of throwing the ball by Brister.
Worley says, hey, that's a whole new experience for me. I only caught a few screen passes at Georgia. I like being a receiver. I can catch it, and that is the end of the first quarter here at Mile High Stadium, and the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to surprise. So the Pittsburgh Steelers continue on their high, and today it's in Colorado. A 3-0 lead, and they're knocking on the door as we open the second quarter. First down at the 15-yard line. Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. The winner meets Cleveland next Sunday in the AFC title game. Worley, who has just caught his longest pass of the year in motion. The give to Hodge. Another big hole, and Merrill Hodge rams for 8 as Mecklenburg makes the tackle.
Hodge really rips into that line of scrimmage. Again, Rienstra, this time Rienstra and Jackson pulling. Beautiful job of pulling, and we can take a look at it. And both of these men will pull and trap here, Rienstra and Jackson. But Hodge is going to break behind the play. So Denver's playing the blocking, and Hodge breaks behind people. You see him break back inside of people. That's excellent judgment and instinct by the running back.
They mark it at the 8, so it's a 7-yard gain. Hodge already with 82 yards rushing. With Worley in motion, Hodge on a draw, and he's hit by Ron Holmes, a former #1 pick of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Holmes, who came here for a #4 draft pick in a trade and has really developed 9 sacks this year. And is he happy? He said, you know, I could have lived the rest of my life not knowing what a playoff experience was.
Well, this was to be a trap by Ilkin. He turns up the field too early and leaves Holmes unblocked. Now, if Ilkin had continued down the line of scrimmage, he'd have made that block, and most likely it would have been a touchdown. But these trapping plays by the tackle and the guard that Pittsburgh utilizes, Denver doesn't see them at all unless they play Pittsburgh.
Trap, trap, trap. These Steelers, they'll trap an usher. Shotgun on 3rd and 2. And a handoff, and Hodge has nothing but daylight. Touchdown.
Well, wide receiver Ouija Thompson, number 87, is in the game to block. And he does a great job of blocking, and he just cuts off enough to give us room to run with the ball. So we can take a look at this, and it's most interesting that Pittsburgh set up to throw the ball and then run a weak side sweep, as you would call it, and the Denver defensive backs were playing pass, and none of them could really support it.
So the Steelers 5 times inside the 20 in the postseason, and they've come away with points 5 in a row. And Anderson tacks on the extra point. So a 10-point underdog. The Pittsburgh Steelers have 10 points on the Denver Broncos early in the 2nd quarter.
You see Thompson, number 20, beautiful block. Thompson leaves our screen, and he does a nice job, and everyone is just cut down. Beautifully executed.
So Thompson 87 and Stone 20 with the key blocks, and Hodge untouched completes what has been an outstanding first half for him. A big play drive that had a 45-yard run by Hodge and a 32-yard pass Worley, and it's 10-0. Here's Darren Carrington, and Carrington hit at the 25, and down he goes.
We'll have a look at the touchdown, and it was a beautiful job of blocking. Dwight Stones is in motion at 190 pounds, and he blocks Holmes at 265. Now you see Thompson come to the inside and block. You'll see the backside guard Long coming around the corner with the ball. These 2 blocks just devastated the defense.
In fact, Long didn't have anyone to hit. Watch him.
Watch Stone right there. A great job of blocking. Now he can do about everything. There's Ouija Thompson, and of course they can run forever on that one.
The Broncos trailing 10-0, and Elway goes to work. The give to Humphrey. He's into the open, and Bobby Humphrey out to the 43-yard line. A gain of 13. Rod Woodson and Thomas Everett in the secondary for the Steelers with a tackle.
Well, Humphrey will be in that he'll be in that backfield all day, in a sense, and those safeties are going to have to make clean tackles on this guy, because he can sort of make you miss and at the same time run through you. He just catches the edge of the tacklers. And Lake and Everett both are going to have to really be alert to make clean tackles, or Humphrey can get the ball and just even it up very quickly.
He gets the call again and plows to the 45. He told us a couple of days ago out at practice, Humphrey, that he's only had 2 disappointments in his rookie year. One is he still burns everything as a bachelor cook. And the other is, he says, you know, when I was at Alabama, I could make people miss in the secondary, and doggone it, these guys tackle you.
Well, he has a unique style. I'm sure that Dan Reeves and his staff saw it. He has a blend of speed, much like Marcus Allen, and power. And when you attempt to tackle him, he just takes the edge of you. You can't make a clean shot at him in the open field.
You mentioned Marcus Allen. That was Humphrey's idol growing up in Birmingham, Alabama. Humphrey, little hesitation, and Brian Hinkle was there to greet him at the 47-yard line. Keith Willis on the assist.
Well, the fans are a little disappointed in some of the play calling, but Denver has a plan. There isn't any question about it.
Keith Willis is injured on the play, the veteran tackle. And they attend to the native of Newark, New Jersey, who has been a consistent sack leader with these Steelers. So we have a timeout, 11:39 left in the opening half. Mile High Country and Dan Reeves battling on the sidelines. His team down 10-0 and 3rd and 4 from the 47. Willis went off under his own power. Appears he'll return.
just has to generate offense right now. They haven't really stopped Pittsburgh yet.
Elway guns, has his man. First down, Michael Young. He's that third down receiver. In fact, Elway said he runs the best patterns and has the best hands of a talented receiving core. Young, a Plan B free agent from the Rams.
Well, they do have quick receivers. Elway rated these guys for us. Vance Johnson, noted for quickness. Mark Jackson, really tough, but Young, excellent third down, medium range receiver.
12 yards on that pass. First down as Denver invades the Steelers half of the field for the second time. Melvin Bratton, play action. Elway. Ooh. Hit immediately was Mark Jackson by Rod Woodson. Woodson, a world-class hurdler, came flying up to meet him.
Well, he made the big play last week that caused the fumble in the overtime, and that demonstrated what he has. He's one of the fastest people in football. He ran the high hurdles legitimately in 13.29. And look at the hitting power. He was considered most likely the best defensive backfield prospect to come out of college in maybe 10 years. And he's playing up to it.
That is the #1 pick from Purdue in '87. 3 yards in the pass play. We may have had an offside on the Steelers. The throw by Elway, nevertheless, is a first down throw to the 25-yard line as Mark Jackson cradles the catch, and another gain of a dozen.
There just isn't any heat being put on Elway right now, and it appears that if he just were to throw the ball down after down, Pittsburgh would really have its problems. This is simply a pivot hook bursting down the field, planning, but now Elway's thrown the ball already, and here it comes. So Woodruff really had no chance to respond to that.
First down inside the Steeler 25. Elway looking for Kay, the tight end, dumps it off instead to Humphrey. Humphrey breaking tackles to the 18-yard line. A good effort by the 22-year-old.
Well, that demonstrates the spontaneity that Elway has. Right down to the last second, much like Joe Montana, he can still make a play just as he starts to go to the ground. And of course, he's throwing to a great young player. That combination really is a combination that the Steelers don't have. So the Steelers are going to have to keep the lead and not let these guys take over the game.
Humphrey, the workhorse on this drive. Second down and 4.
No pressure.
And he throws it away. Vance Johnson was the intended receiver. Dwayne Woodruff, the last of the Steelers that links to their 4 Super Bowl titles. Woodruff was in his 10th year from Louisville. And what glorious years those were for the fans that would crowd Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh.
Well, the same atmosphere and attitude is being developed right now. Chuck Noll, over the years, had the continuity, had a philosophy of hard work, keeping quiet, low profile. The bottom line, according to Chuck, and do I agree with him, is winning the Super Bowl. Anything short of that, and it's just cosmetic.
Elway may have drawn him offside. He does. This is a free play, and it's a first down down at the 5. No, he trapped the ball. Sammy Winder did not come up with it cleanly, but Elway, who has a talent for drawing that defense offside, gets an easy 5 and a first down.
Don't be surprised if Elway throws 35 to 45 passes today, because he's going to get the protection. You'll see him drop back here. He gets the offside, but watch the pass protection. See that space between him and anybody near him. He could have moved right or left there and thrown the ball. So that looks like what could develop as a real problem for the Steelers. Pass rush.
8:29 left in the second quarter. 10-0 Pittsburgh. But a first down for the Broncos at the 13. Humphrey to the 10 and perhaps the 9. Tim Johnson, first Steeler, number 78, and on the play with help from Gerald Williams, the nose tackle.
Gerald Williams had a great game against Houston. He's come along. He's a big guy, and he has some quickness. And running inside, Karts is going to have a hard time unless he gets a lot of help.
Can't see the other numeral. 95 apparently is the injured player Greg Lloyd, and they could ill afford to lose Lloyd, who leads in sacks and has 3 interceptions, the outside linebacker. Willis did return. As you can see, he's in the game now after being shaken up in this quarter.
Well, that size differential, Dick, it could be a problem. And as a game wears on and fatigue sets in, the bigger men often can make the difference. And right now, that Denver offensive line outweighs and probably much stronger a unit than the defensive group for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to have to depend on fundamentals.
Rod Rust, the new defensive coordinator, just as Dan Reeves has made some bold changes, including assistant coaches. Chuck Noll has 4 new assistants this year as well, Rod Rust being one of them.
I worked with Rod at Stanford many years ago. He's one of the great technicians in the game, and he has a quiet way about him, but people play for him. Wherever he's been, the defense has improved. So Chuck made an excellent move there.
So Greg Lloyd assisted off the field. Gerald Williams, a rookie from Purdue, will replace him, number 91.
But this man has maintained a philosophy, maintained a work ethic that has brought this team back. And of course, they feel that the future is in the 90s.
2nd down 7 for Elway. Jackson left, Johnson right.
Again, pass protection all the time he wants.
It's deflected and almost intercepted, and a flag is down. And we might have a hold, at least that's the signal being given by the Broncos against the Steelers. And so it is.
Well, Humphrey was complaining, so most logically he was trying to get out on the pass and couldn't get there.
Gene Barth's microphone is not functioning. I guess it is. So the automatic first down. Chuck Noll was talking to you about the officiating, and it's interesting. He and Dan Reeves are exactly on opposite stands when it comes to instant replay. Noll doesn't like it, and Reeves is very much for it.
Well, they both desperately would like to see improvement in the officiating and more uniformity. I think everyone in the league that's part of the football business aspect of the game want that.
Bobby Humphrey dragged down just as he was going to lurch to that goal line. They both are strongly in agreement that the officiating this year has been at the lowest level in a long time.
Well, you see, coming down the line of scrimmage, Mobley, a tight end in motion, making a big crack block on the outside linebacker Hinkle, and that gave Humphrey a good chance to just break for the goal line.
He comes out at 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line. Greg Lloyd, number 95, has returned for the Steelers. Bratton and Winder behind Elway. It's Bratton, a fullback from Miami, and he doesn't get in.
Boy, those Steelers are tough. Nickerson from Cal, by the way, really made a shot. Both Little and Nickerson, good, clean shots, and they finished it up. That usually isn't going to be enough, but look at the initial contact and then the follow-up contact stuffed that play.
Watch 54, Nickerson, as he helped out Little. 3rd and goal. The Steelers are saying that Clarence Kay moved early, but the officials didn't see it that way. It's offside. Steelers, touchdown Denver.
Well, Kay did move. There isn't any question about that.
But he is not an interior lineman, and he's allowed to be able to move.
Well, it looks as though he moves, but he might be responding to the defenders. We'll take a look at it.
Treadwell has the extra point, barely. Look at this. Someone may have gotten a hand on that one. It's 10-7.
You'll see right here, you'll see some movement right there, but you'll also see movement here. So who's to say?
Bratton over the top for the touchdown. Treadwell just does add the extra point, and with 6:22 left in the first half, it's now a 10-7 Steeler lead.
Now you'll see this movement before the snap, but you'll also see these people move almost together. There's the defensive movement, then the offensive movement. They could have called that either way.
75 yards in 12 plays, Denver touchdown. David Treadwell just getting the extra point through as Aaron Jones deflected it for Pittsburgh. It's 10-7. The kick on its way to the best kickoff return man in the NFL, Rod Woodson. Woodson hit down by Scott Curtis, who is the top special teams tackler for the Broncos on the year.
You'll see the touchdown. A lot of people moving. But over the top we go, and by that time the Pittsburgh people had sort of lost their edges on the blockers.
And here's the extra point.
You'll see the extra point block right here. There isn't a relaxed type of play ever with the Steelers. 97 up over the top, blocking an extra point. They're so intense, there just is not a routine play under Chuck Noll.
Didn't do it.
Bratton with a touchdown. Now the Steelers. Brister goes to work. Passing on first down down the middle to Malarkey. He's got it in a first down at the 49-yard line. Atwater made the tackle, and Malarkey slow getting up. That's a play that they've been working on, especially for Denver. Chuck Noll thought that they could use the tight end down the middle.
Well, they split a zone. Excellent pattern by Malarkey, but now Malarkey will widen and then go up the field because people aren't going to be able to get to the ball quickly enough. The linebacker will drop, but there's a big hole. It takes real concentration to catch that ball. You'll see that as the ball gets to Malarkey, so do the Denver people. So here it comes. There's the big hit, but he really demonstrates poise. He's down, I guess, because of it.
Malarkey, who was cast in the shadow, and with the 49ers, it was tough for you to keep him. You had John Frank and Russ Francis, and he went to Minnesota, where it was Steve Jordan, a Pro Bowler, starring for the Vikings, finally getting his chance as a starter in Pittsburgh, and had his best year, 22 catches.
Well, he has excellent hands, good nimble feet. He's not the strongest blocker, but he's a good all-around athlete, and working against his zone defense, a big man like this can make this kind of a catch where a smaller man will have the ball jarred loose.
This could be a very serious injury if he's unable to return, because, well, he looks just as Lloyd and Willis before him, shaken up but able to come back, and apparently was a blow to the head from the actions of the trainers for the Steelers.
Here he is up the field. You'll see the movement all the way over, and as he catches the ball, he gets the helmet right in the chin, really. Atwater, one of the great young players in the league, is there to make the stop. He knew he was late. He figured that helmet might jar up everything.
Well, Malarkey still just to a sitting position, and obviously he was KO'd for a while.
See, that was a shot. But again, great catch. That's why I sometimes wonder why more teams don't continue to use the tight end as part of their offense, because they can make those big heavy-duty catches as people hit them where the smaller man can't. There's still a role for these guys.
Rubber legs for Malarkey as he goes off the field. They have only one other tight end on the roster, the Steelers, a free agent rookie, Terry O'Shea from California State of Pennsylvania.
Brister's hit his man virtually every time he's thrown the ball. Denver hasn't put enough heat on him so that he's had to go to alternate receivers. He's been able to drop back, look, and throw just to the man he chooses, and then neither team's getting enough heat on the passer.
5:50 left in the opening half. It's a reverse, and it is Lewis Lips tripped up as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Good play by Ron Holmes from the University of Washington.
Simon Fletcher just penetrated, blitzed on the backside, and sort of took the play apart. There wasn't anywhere for Lips to go. You'll see the pressure coming right on our left. There he is. There's Fletcher. He stuffs everything. So Lips has nowhere to run but maybe get back to the line of scrimmage.
Fletcher, 73, lost his father suddenly this past week, playing with all that emotion today. Second and a long 9. O'Shea in motion. Worley has blockers. Outside, and now it's a foot race and knocked out of bounds, saving a touchdown. Michael Brooks got Worley off the field at the 31-yard line, and the Steeler running game is most impressive.
They really are doing a great job. Now they put O'Shea in motion, and he was able to get a big block on the outside, and that really made the difference. Now, you'll see Hodge in front, but you'll see O'Shea making a nice block, and up the field we go. Worley's got good activity for a man that size. Both Hodge and Worley do a great job.
He's big, almost 230 pounds, and he was the North Carolina high school state 100-meter champion. Leachy Thompson, a good block, 87 on that run as well. This time it's Worley going right. And Carricker from behind makes the play. Alfonso Carricker was a #1 pick of the Packers in '84, and he and Holmes have stories that are so similar. Both #1 picks. Carricker, Green Bay. Holmes by Tampa Bay. Neither one lived up to all the high hopes of being a #1 and were let go. Carricker picked up as a Plan B free agent. Holmes for a #4 pick. Here they are starting ends with Denver.
Sometimes if they're just properly motivated, and a coach knows how to utilize whatever talent they have and whatever strengths they have, Wade Phillips can do that. They can be reborn. We did it a number of times in San Francisco, and Denver surely does it well.
Time running down in the second quarter. On second down, Brister. He's going to throw it away. And Brister said that's what he thinks he is doing best this year. When he doesn't have anyone open, don't take any chances. Don't be foolish. He is an enthusiastic, high adrenaline guy, and he understands he has to keep that under control.
Well, you hear two different stories. Wade Phillips thinks he's too emotional and can get too emotional and try to do things that really aren't in the plan. Chuck Noll says he wants that. It's just what Terry Bradshaw's always had. And that dimension can make a big difference, that intensity.
Yeah, they said he's 100% better this year. Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, he'll be 200% better next year. 3rd and 9. Brister completes it to Lewis Lips right at the yardsticks. Tyrone Braxton made the tackle. It's going to be close for a first down.
I don't think, I haven't seen Pittsburgh this much, Dick, but this may be the best football they've played all year, and it's just at the right time. They're throwing the ball effectively today. And in the past, early this year, they didn't have any kind of a passing game. So there's some good things occurring out here. Really growth on the part of this Pittsburgh team.
Well, statistically on the season, Pittsburgh was dead last in passing, dead last in total offense, and yet here they are in the second round of the playoffs.
Well, that man has brought him along, and he's done it before with another group. Maybe he can get it done again.
He stretched the chains, first down. In fact, Noll, who was reluctant to take any credit at all.
Well, here's Lips coming up the field. I had thought he lost a step, but Chuck says no. He says this man can still play. Look at that clutch catch he can make. Now again, Brister throws the ball much like Bradshaw. This is really a surprise. The quick delivery, the tight spiral, right on the money.
First down for the Steelers with 3.5 minutes remaining in the half. They lead 10-7.
Big trap.
Merrill Hodge gets only 2 or 3. Cragen was there, number 71. Back to Noll and this team and why it has developed so dramatically from a team that seemed down and out, and they were crying for Noll's scalp, that the game had passed him by, to a team that now is even shocking Denver today. He says this is my second best draft, and he called on the memories of 1974, a year when they got Swan, Stallworth, Lambert, and Webster. He said this rookie group compares with that one.
That's what it takes. But also the patience of a coach like Chuck Noll. Patience. The patience of the Rooney family. The patience of the organization. And Chuck's bottom line is he's a teacher. Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator who's worked with Chuck for 13 years, has great admiration for him as a teacher.
65 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
John Jackson, the left tackle, a second-year man, a long-range pick, a 10th rounder, and really developing on that left side.
He's supposed to be the best one-on-one blocker, the one guy that can knock people back. In this case, he leans. He leans. When you get a veteran like Holmes in front of him, Holmes knows he can take advantage of that.
Second down and 12. White Stone in motion. Draw to Hodge. And Merrill Hodge is down to the 22, maybe the 21, and he is close, Hodge, to 100 yards today. And if indeed, excuse me, to the 17-yard line. And the Denver Bronco defense, the stingiest defense in the entire NFL in allowing points, has not allowed a 100-yard rusher the entire season. And Hodge apparently is about to get it in the first half. Timeout, 2 minutes. Welcome back to Denver. Pittsburgh leads 10-7, driving for more. They talked about the terrible towel, and this is the insights. You missed all this when you were coaching with the Steelers. This takes back to their Super Bowl years. This one hasn't been washed since the 1970s. You know how to use these things?
I can tell it hasn't been washed. Yow! You take it.
Well, they gave that to the Steelers as a good luck charm. A fan who has held on to it. Boy, that's a dyed-in-the-wool fan. And Bobby Brister has to call time here. He saw something that didn't work and didn't want to take a chance on 3rd and 6 at the Denver 18-yard line. There's Tom Moore. We talked about in his great admiration for Noel's tremendous teaching. He says he teaches players, he teaches coaches.
Well, they have a plan. If they could get 3 points here, at least 3, they could go in feeling darn proud of themselves.
Well, the Rams used the threes, the field goals in the second half to finally tie the Giants today and beat them in overtime. Stay with us at halftime. We'll have the highlights for you of that earlier NFC battle. Stay tuned to NBC tonight as well for a great lineup. Brand new live starring Barbara Eden, followed by the comedies Ann Jillian and Sister Kate. Then at 9 p.m., 8 Central and Mountain, NBC presents a world premiere miniseries based on the true story. Go behind the Noriega headlines to witness the daily battle between the billionaire drug lords and the agents of the DEA. Drug Wars, the Camarena story tonight on NBC. 4 wide receivers in, 3rd down and 6. Brister dumps it off to Hodge, and Hodge has a first down at the 8. Steve Atwater made the tackle. Well-designed play.
Beautifully done. We call that an arrow pattern in which Hodge would start up, starting and then plant and go back out. And that's the kind of, I'll be honest with you, Dick, we just designed that some years ago for San Francisco. You'll see Hodge up, start in, and then pivot and slide back out, and he'll lose his coverage man as he does it. Starts in, thinks there's a cross, outside again. Hodge is tough.
He has 100 yards rushing. He picks up 9 more on that play. On the reception. Now it's Worley's turn. He's cut down in the backfield. Knifing through was number 90, Ron Holmes.
Again, they attempted to trap. They pulled Rienstra, they pulled Jackson, but Holmes penetrated, and when you penetrate against a trapping team at the wrong angle, they can't do anything with you.
Clock running, 56, 55 seconds left in the half. Dan Reeves' team outplayed in this opening half by the Steelers, who lead 10-7 and have it 2nd down and goal at the 9.
Steelers taking a lot of time because they're going to have to take some at the line because of the noise factor. Tremendous noise, din of noise.
Brister dumps it off incomplete to Worley. Michael Brooks was right there in front of Worley, and Brister comes over to say something to his halfback. I think he should have run a little different pattern. It was apparent that Brister was not happy with what Worley. In fact, Tim Worley admitted yesterday it's what he doesn't do well yet, run crisp cuts.
You can see there he was very indecisive, and Brooks just nudged him. I think Worley wanted to run that arrow pattern himself, but was just knocked off balance.
Steelers will take a timeout here with 31 seconds left. Though the clock had stopped, Brister on 3rd down and goal wants to make sure of this call with Chuck Noll. Bobby Brister, you know, his mother became nationally known in that Houston game with her rooting of Mother Frances, who drove a black and gold Cadillac, Steeler colors, that Bobby gave her for Christmas from Louisiana over to Houston. She's here. She flew in today, but he told the other side of the story. His father, who was a high school football coach in Monroe, Louisiana for 25 years, is now his roommate. And there he is, Walter Andrew II. Bobby's the 3rd, and Coach Andrew, he's now an all-purpose guy for Bobby. He answers the phone. He's his agent. He works out his deals. He's his counselor. He's his roommate.
It's what a great experience for him, too. be right with his young guy.
Mama's not worried at all. 3rd and goal at the 9. Into the noise of the closed end for Brister. Touchdown Deluxe.
He drilled that ball in. He drilled it in. That's a Terry Bradshaw throw. They hooked the man between people, and Lips sat in there and just waited for that shot. Beautifully done. Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, has done an excellent job in bringing Brister along and putting this together.
Low man on the quarterback ladder and touchdowns thrown, but a big one here to close this first half as Anderson kicks the extra point and the Steelers lead 17-7.
Lips went in motion on that play and started up the field, and Denver just sort of backed away and gave him room. You'll see him here. You'll see him start up and then sit down right inside of this release. So the Denver people were sort of sorting men out, and then there's a hook right between them. Beautifully done. Now Lips is one of the best receivers in the 80s, and now he's got a great young quarterback to drill the ball to him.
And Francis and Walter Brister are happy with Bubby's bomb to Lips, who caught 50 passes, leading the Steelers this year, had 5 touchdowns, and it's 17-7 with 26 seconds left in the half. Well, he's got Mama's energy, no question about that. That's not Daddy's emotions, that's Mom.
Well, you know, he hasn't thrown that many touchdown passes. He only threw 9 during the entire year. So here he's drilling that ball in. This team, if it were to lose this game, has made great progress just being in the playoffs and preparing for this kind of a contest.
Wonder what they're thinking in Cleveland right now, much less here in Denver and Pittsburgh. It's Carrington on the low skidding kick, and he's out to the 33-yard line. Now Elway has 20 seconds to try to come up with something big and at least get into field goal range. Flag down against the Steelers, offside. 77-yard drive and a dozen plays well executed.
Penalty refused. First down.
Well, Elway, if anybody can do it, can pick up the 30 or so yards necessary to get a field goal. It'll be interesting to see just what kind of pressure Pittsburgh can put on him in this situation. Oh, wait a minute.
Steelers late getting on the field defensively. They thought that the Broncos would make them kick it over again. Elway throws to this side, complete. Jackson doesn't go out of bounds, and now he's got some blockers. Rod Woodson, he outruns him. One Boilermaker against another, and Jackson goes out of bounds and over the top of the hot seat. 8 seconds left. They're at the 42 of Pittsburgh, a 26-yard play.
Just one more completion, and they can get it done. Excellent decision with just a few seconds left in the half. He's just going to burst down. Jackson's going to stop, and now his movement's going to take him across the field. And he makes a little miss. Now it's a foot race, and Woodson takes a little bit of a gamble trying to go for him.
Time for, well, now Elway will use a timeout before he puts it in play at the 42 of Pittsburgh. Mark Jackson and Rod Woodson were teammates at Purdue, involved in that last chase. So precious seconds left, and to give the Broncos an emotional lift, a field goal is a prime conversation right now.
Well, Elway can take a shot inside. He has a timeout with 8 seconds. He can throw the ball to the inside and get a quick timeout and try to get the field goal.
Well, Treadwell's longest of the year is the 46 yards, which means that they need to get the ball down around the 30-yard line. Another 12 yards for him to have a good chance. A reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting our Budweiser most valuable player at the conclusion of today's playoff game.
The problem can come up here. Now, whoever catches this ball inside, if they run with it and take a lot of time running with it, just 4 or 5 seconds, the clock will run out on it. So you almost have to catch it and go down, take a timeout, and kick a field goal.
Steve Sewell is a man to watch in this situation as they go with the 4 wide receivers. Elway down the middle. There's the complete at the 25-yard line to Natil with 2 seconds left. Timeout.
Boy, there was a rocket from Elway, and that'll give Treadwell a decent chance.
Well, you sort of anticipated it. Pittsburgh got into too much of a safety kind of defense. Everybody backing off and giving too much room, and Elway can get the ball there so quickly. Again, had Natil caught the ball and attempted to run, time would have run out on him. So he was really lucky the ball came low and he was on the ground quickly.
Treadwell will kick from around the 33, a 43-yard attempt. Treadwell, a rookie from Clemson. One of the many emotional moves this year was the argument for contract by Rich Carlos, a very popular citizen of Denver. Contributed so much to charity. They liked him a lot, Carlos, but he held out, didn't sign. Treadwell was in the wings. He not only replaces Carlos, wins the Pro Bowl honors as the place kicker, and this one is for 43 yards to end the first half. It is, hits the upright and goes through. A yellow painted field goal for the Broncos, and it's 17-10 at the intermission.
It hits the upright and makes it. Gee, that is really a close one. Oh, gee. Bouncing the other way. How many games have been lost with that ball bouncing the other way? Well, a great job by Chuck Noll and his staff. They're in the ball game.
David Treadwell at least pulls the Broncos within a touchdown as we look ahead to the second half. But first to NFL Live and Bob Costas.